Our airborne forces have had time to recover from their D-Day losses. We're going to put them back to work. Market Garden is a plan to speed up our advance by using paratroopers to seize a series of bridges over the principal river and canal obstacles in the Netherlands. The troopers will be delivered in 2 lifts. The drops will be immediately followed by a fast-moving overland assault that will punch through, relieve the airborne from bridge to bridge before the enemy can successfully counterattack, and carry on all the way across the Rhine. If successful, this operation will spare us the need to fight through the Siegfried Line and greatly hasten the end of the war. Quite a brilliant concept, in truth, but there are complications. The road that leads across these bridges and to the Rhine is long and narrow. There are many points where it can be attacked and interdicted. And if we don't get to the final bridge before the enemy can recapture it, the Rhine will not be breached, and the strategic value of the operation will be greatly lessened. You must move quickly. The airborne forces are light and cannot receive replacements. They're counting on prompt relief from your main column. Speed is everything.
Hello YouTube, welcome back to Panzercorps, the Allied Corps expansion, or standalone, depending on what you've had before. This is Operation Market Garden, which history will remember as failing. It was an ambitious attempt to try and end the war by Christmas and to drive across the Netherlands and basically get into Germany as quickly as possible and just end the war. And I believe it was put forth by Montgomery from Britain, and it was very ambitious. It had great, possibilities and prospects, but it just wasn't possible. The German resistance was pretty stiff still, and it just wasn't something that was to be. So we're going to play that exact same situation, and we are going to be successful, and we're going to get a triumph in this particular scenario. So without further ado, let's get going here. So we went all the way down to 1,000 prestige after we bought and overstrengthened our units. I believe I had to replace a couple of tank units as well. At least one, and probably an infantry unit if I even bothered to replace the infantry unit I may not have. Breaking out of this little sector is not a problem, and honestly most of this scenario is not all that difficult. I actually found this scenario to be a nice breath of fresh air and found it to be pretty easy. The counterattacks were pretty ferocious, but I basically knew where they would be, where on D-Day and a few other maps I couldn't really get over there to see what they had and really know what they were going to do. In this particular scenario I pretty much knew what they were going to do for the most part. I didn't know to what extent they would counterattack and how many counterattacks from a certain area there would be, but I knew that they would be off to the sides, because the map, as you can see, is very much middle driven, and all the objectives are in the middle, so the only real place for the German army to hide is alongside the sides of the map. And at the top of the map, the top portion of the map, that's where they were. So I didn't have any problem. I found it to be pretty easy. They do have quite a bit of equipment, but it's not that big of a deal, because even though they have a lot of equipment, a lot of their equipment is damaged or not at full strength. And so when you're not facing 12 strength tigers, or even just 10 strength tigers, things get a little easier. I also believe there's probably a trigger for this map. I don't know exactly what it is, but I would venture a guess that it's either the number of turns that have passed or the number of bridges you control. And I actually did pass a couple of turns where I decided not to capture certain bridges and things, simply because I felt it might trigger the counterattack when I wasn't exactly ready just yet. And that turned out to work really well. So I don't want to say that this scenario, the way I played it, is a textbook example, because it's probably not, but it's probably very close to being the way you should probably play it. Just because I feel like I didn't have many losses, if any at all, and I decided to capture the bridges a little bit later, but it ended up working perfectly for me, so... Wow, okay. Being very protective of my flanks, just making sure that I don't get flanked. Probably wasn't necessary, but I did it anyway, just to be sure. Got a weather turn here, so I'm going to use my aircraft. Nice. So definitely want to get rid of those 88s as quickly as possible here. Lots of little towns and things to take over to give us some extra prestige, which is nice. The D-Day and Cobra scenarios, while they did have a lot of things you could take over, they were either unobtainable or by the time you got them, it just wasn't enough prestige to make a huge difference. This scenario is not like that at all. It's pretty easy to take most of the objectives and most of the towns, and really allows you to go out there and get some good stuff in terms of prestige. Now my thought process here, to the right of that river, this river here, was that I wanted to cross it with that bridge that you see. And I wanted to get over there and see what was over there, because I figured that would be where their counterattack force would be located. And indeed it is over there. And I actually do stop a small portion of their counterattack force by crossing over and moving over there instead. Pushing the advantage on this 88, although we don't have much of an advantage left. But the whole purpose there was make sure that that 88 is at least damaged by the time I get there. And as you can see, I'm not taking that on purpose, because I kind of figured if I did, I'd immediately be counterattacked from the top end of the map, and I wasn't ready for that. I don't have any of my forces there yet, so I don't want to take a chance and get in a situation where I can't defend it just yet. So as you can see, we're getting attacked by a Panther unit there. Luckily, most of the German units do not have vehicles anymore. They're on foot. Obviously, the tanks have treads, so they can move pretty far pretty quickly, but other than that, we don't have much of a problem. Small little artillery unit there for us. Probably like a 75mm or so. Alright, attack post 1 for our US infantry, I like it. Okay. And I believe I've already spotted the Hertzer and whatnot, as you can see. I already know that they're over there to that left side, so I already know that that attack will be coming soon, so I'm trying to push forward and get over there as quick as I can. Haven't seen much in lieu of their Air Force. There's not much going on. By this time in the war, I think the German Air Force was vastly depleted. Both from the Eastern Front as well as the Western Allies as well. That didn't stop their resolve to resist us, though. Us being Americans, sorry. You may not be Americans, so... And British, Canadian, other allied countries, of course. Wasn't just Americans. small SS infantry unit there. Or damaged, maybe. Wow, good shot. So at this juncture, we've captured everything we want to capture for the most part, and we are advancing very quickly to the northern part of the map to try and reinforce and help these guys out. Also, I'm trying to block off that counterattack, as you can see, moving those tanks into position. Like that. And that's just hopefully to stop the flow of counterattack so that I can get these artillery units and whatnot further forward to the north. Okay, it's acceptable. Get rid of that 2 strength unit there. Defense +1 on artillery, again, not too bad. At least I didn't get spotting. I got spotting a lot during this campaign. That was not helping at all. I'll take defense over spotting any day. I think spotting shouldn't even really be an option, to be honest, because it's basically useless. Other than a scout car, I just don't see the point. So as you can see, I did crossover, and we're over here harassing this counterattack force. Looks like a Jaguar Panzer over here. I'm probably saying that wrong, I apologize. But you could tell that that's where this is going to go, as they're going to kind of try to move on that bridge position. Not bad, actually. Put him down to 1 strength, so can't be too mad about that. Nice. So as you can see, they did eventually start to push over and to try and counterattack with all those forces, and it was a good idea to place my tanks there to stop them. Almost got him. Things are starting to get serious there, so we're going to need some help pretty quick. And I think the reason why I thought this scenario was fairly easy is I managed to identify where they'd be coming from, and honestly, once you've done that, it makes everything easier. It really does. Most of their units can't move too quickly either, so that really helps you out. You're very mobile still, obviously, you know, because you've got the United States backing and the British Commonwealth, and those troops all have vehicles by this point. At least in the game, not in reality. There was plenty of troops that were still walking, still marching. Okay. That's not fantastic, but again, not spotting, so. Sherman's going to need a little time to get some more troops, but that should be fine. Almost that entire counterattacking force has been destroyed now. These flame tanks are actually an amazing addition to the game that occurred in the Africa Corps campaign for the Germans, and those are great tanks. Up against infantry, they typically absolutely wreck infantry. So. I really enjoyed using them in the Africa Corps campaign. Worked exceptionally well for me. I need to beat that. I never did beat all of that. I did beat it once, but I didn't record it when I beat it. And I think I was playing on a lesser difficulty than I was when I recorded on my channel. So I should go through and play that a little bit on a little bit easier difficulty just for fun. You can go clear up into India. In fact, that's probably where I stopped, was India. It's just such a vast country. It takes lots of turns. Okay, so Focke-Wulf 198 coming to challenge us a bit here. Doing a good job of it, actually. But our air superiority is just too much for him. Okay. That is a British infantry unit that's going to help our American paratroopers there. Very nice. Ooh, got in behind us pretty good there. Nice. So Firefly absolutely destroying that Panther, who did not realize we were that far up already. As you can see, the northernmost objective has a lot of infantry and a few tanks that could really give us some hurt, so have to be a little careful. Hummel being destroyed. Of course, it's artillery, that's not that impressive, right? And here comes the counterattack from the left. I'm going to slow them down a little bit with some aircraft support. Aw, didn't get him. So, pretty advanced scout car here. One of the better German scout cars. Trying to get up here to lend a hand here. I figured the artillery would be needed on the furthest objective, and I still think that was the right decision. So now that that force was destroyed, we now have the option to move further north and assist the higher up guys. Wow, good shot. Alright. Give them a double dose there of destruction. Comes the Panther to wreck our day. actually fared pretty good. Defense +1 is perfectly fine. Panther taking a beating. Holy smokes. 9 kills is pretty crazy. That was kind of an interesting attack, but I guess I just really wanted that thing gone. Oh. Well, that's one way of doing it. Almost got this situation under control. Just got that last infantry unit to manage with. Good to go. He's not a full-strength unit anyway, so yeah, I was gonna say he shouldn't be too big a problem. Couldn't get him. We tried. Does have some artillery support back there. Doesn't matter. Pushing out a little bit here just to see what they have. I don't really see anything dangerous there, so I decided to push out. As you can see, that was kind of a mistake, but honestly, it's a non-core unit that I can't reinforce, so don't really mind too much. Artillery just chewing up our scout fire friend here. And that was actually a prototype, or not a prototype, but a quote-unquote elite unit that was given to me from the last scenario. Actually, that turned out better than I thought. Whoa. Get wrecked. So we actually didn't lose that little scout car, or Stewart. Is it a light tank? I think it's a C. Let's check this out. See. It's an M5. I do not know the designations anymore, I forget. Okay. Mop up here. I think the key too is to not get so greedy that you get too far away from your forces. Kind of just sitting back and waiting for them to come to you is better. We have some fireflies that have arrived finally, so the Panther is actually in big trouble here. Should be a surrender here. Yep. Nicely done. If we can get rid of this pillbox, it will really allow us to sit here easier without them seeing us, because that pillbox has a very high sight range and they can see our movements, which we really don't want. So nice. Firefly cleaning up that Fallstrom unit back towards the bottom there. And another Focke-Wulf 190 coming in for support. Paratroopers doing a good job defending here. And pillbox has now been destroyed, which is good. Didn't even get a chance. So all my aircraft are in the southern area, so we don't have any support for destroying that Focke-Wulf 190 yet. So we'll take a few casualties here, but our Mosquito shows that he doesn't need too much help defending himself, so... Beyond that Panther, there's really nothing that worries me on that side at all, so we're doing really well. Very nice. And here comes the last part of their counterattack. They have 2 turns to try and get us out of here. They just failed miserably on that infantry attack there. Not the best attack, but not the worst. And we do have a Firefly that was lying in wait. It's actually pretty good. +3 is really high, so I'll take it. No real damage there for their aircraft, but we tried. There's an 88mm flak gun / anti-tank gun over here. We're going to try to harass him a bit. Get a little extra prestige. Wasn't too good at all. Alright, British paratroopers taking some hits there. Ooh, good job. They died valiantly though. They did a good job. their defense of that city was admirable, to say the least. That was some seriously good defending. Okay, so we put the hurt on him a little bit. Okay, so we're gonna lose a couple infantry units here. Some serious AA fire there from 3 different locations. That's pretty terrifying. But in the end, we were triumphant and we did win the day. So hope you guys liked the video. If you did, check out this series of videos that I've created and like and subscribe if you like the videos. I hope you guys have a good one, and as always, I'll see you in the next video.